Well, if only it could be yesterday. Well, now it can. Saturday qualifying from Moto Valley Raceway. First MX2 Moto. Dirt start. Boys are off the line. How about number 28, Teddy Mayer? He wins her wire-to-wire. Beaton and Cerny banging bars through the sweeper. And number 42, Jimmy Nelson, had to work his way back up to second. Second MX2 Moto, Eric Nye with a great start. But here's your top three. Number 25, Jeff Northrup, the original. He takes the win. Number 514, Eric Nye, the Martini Man in second. And number 916, Davenport in third. Let's go to the MX1 class. Woo-wee! The Cuz and Darcy Lange threw the big lifter down into the valley, and Gavin Graysick was looking good in second. Here's a bar-banging situation. We've got Homans and Jeremiah Israel taking care of business through the left-hander, and Dusty Klatt with a huge win in that first MX1 qualifier. Getting into the second MX1 qualifier, we've got a pair of Suzuki boys. KJ Keith Johnson, number 19, the Salty Dog. How about Faccioni and Dubé having their way with each other? And number 1, Jean-Sébastien Roy with the big win. Welcome to Moto Valley Raceway, just outside of Regina, Saskatchewan. This is round 5 of the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championships. Mark Travers and Brian Coster in the booth. Brian, we have got 2 classes of racing today, 4 motos. It's going to be a bar banger.
You want to hang on tight, get your refreshments now. You don't want to miss a minute of the racing today here in Regina. One of the most beautiful tracks on the Western Circuit, and what a day we have today.
All right, let's get to those point standings. MX2 West after 2 of 4 rounds. Jimmy Nelson looking good up top, but I like that little cluster down below. Sleater, Johnson, Beaton, Hoyer, and Israel on the outside.
To the big boys in the MX1, Klatt a commanding lead. Waugh not too far back. Lange, Morgan, Homans, and Fasciati got a good duel. Lockhart rounds it out.
Okay, Fabs, Moto Valley Raceway, a great outdoor motocross track. Flat like the prairies up top, and then huge valleys in the back section.
That's correct, Trav. First time coming here, couldn't believe the valley they found out here in the prairies. This has some hard pack underneath. Check out the blue groove. But there's also a nice mixture of some nice clumpy, loamy stuff. I tell you, the roost out here is punishing. Ouch! Look at these ruts. Look at the width of this track. Options, people. Braking, bumps. Better keep your concentration here, or it's a trip over the handling bars in a jiffy. Little bit of water, little bit of puddles here. They've been doing an awesome job of prep.
All right, out onto the track with the Scott USA helmet cam and privateer, Dustin Hayes.
And he's one of Jerry Nelson's boys. We call him one of Jerry's boys. Up into the first turn here. Just get on the gas. A nice 180. Beautiful prep. Nice series of doubles into a long tabletop. Here, the boys will be braking hard. Those hay bales there in morning practice to kind of create some lines in those flat turns. This is landing off the big ski jump. I tell you, 4th gear tapped. Come out of this one, it just throws you into a real nice whip position. One of my favorite parts, down into the GP bowl. Hard on the gas. G out in the bottom, get light up the top. It is the guys with the Kuyangs that will make up time there. Now, this section added last year. A beautiful left-hander, inside-outside lines there to choose from. Always passing there, folks. Gotta keep your eye out on that. Check it out. We have got the champ, Jean-Sébastien Roy, passing Dustin Hayes here in morning practice. A nice glimpse of JSR. I don't think we're gonna hang with him too long there, Travis, because he is on the gas. Now, little soupy up here. This will all dry out as the day goes on. That is the corner we call the Blair Morgan corner, where a few years back he made just so many passes we lost track. That is now coined the Blair Morgan corner. And of course, him being from Saskatchewan, a big finish line launch right there. I tell you, if you're not going fast enough, you're in for a world of hurt. Nice little triple there, easy for the guys to handle. Sweepers here. We're gonna see how this grooves out, if it's gonna be a flat track corner or you actually gotta pick a groove and stick to it. You know those ruts, you always gotta look to the end of the rut. If you look right down at your front wheel, man, you're gonna high side. Nice little set of rockers there, landing right through the mechanics row. A little small taste of Regina for y'all.
Nice job, fabulous. All right, let's get this first MX2 Moto hopping. There's number 682, Manitoba's Nikki Dunn.
The first moto at Calgary, I actually got a really good start, and I think third. And in the first, like, 3 laps, I went from third to sixth, and then caught back up for fifth, you know? Like, those guys come out of the gate ready to race, and it takes me a couple of laps. I don't know if I'm just scared or what, but I got to get over it. And as soon as the gate drops, I got to get to race speed. My first 2 laps were a 1.5 seconds slower than the rest of my race, so I got to work that out.
This is Regina's Moto Valley Raceway, and the first MX2 Moto here today will be brought to you by the fine people at Answer Racing. Brian, look at those bluebird skies. We've got ourselves a great day to motocross.
Sure do. Rock and Randy Hall with the Frankenstein board. Lots of history behind that board. This is where the riders lose all their nervousness and focus on the task at hand. The adrenaline is at peak levels right now, and the gate's down. Travis, look at that jump for Beaton.
Beaton back on the saddle, coming to the first corner. Looks like Mike Sleater. Oh, he's off course, but Beaton gets that royal disturbing hole shot in that big, huge right-hander.
He got a great jump. Sleater got his nose in there, but went wide. But look at the battle now between Mayer and number 42.
Oh, hey,
oh
Bill.
my goodness. That is Jimmy Nelson and those two Travs. The history between number 28 on the green Cowie and 42 in the Honda. I tell you, no love lost there.
782, Foster over the hay bale, but let's get back to the lead. Beaton in the lead. We've got Mayer in second through that huge sweeper. Brian, a lot of water in there. It's really starting to rut up.
Yeah, that is a very technical part of the track with these deep ruts. Very easy to high side. The speed's definitely down. Look at the whip from Jimmy Nelson on the Scott. MX walk-off cam. Love that shot.
Boys funneling through as we get back to the battle for second place. A skits. Oh, there's not even a second between those two boys as they round up through the Blair Morgan corner.
Mayer had a problem at the top, and Nelson had a problem in the bottom. It equalized him out. Now, Northrop on the gas. Look at the berm shot with number 145, young Brock Hoyer, hot on his heels.
Number 28, Teddy Mayer in second place, and right behind him, 42, Jimmy Nelson, who is leading the series right now. Brian, a great battle for second place.
Commanding points lead for Jimmy Nelson. He can't do anything stupid here. He wants to survive and keep that huge gap of points, but I know he doesn't want to get beat by Mayer. Now, back in the pack, Travers, that's young Brady Sharon, number 6'11". He started 20th. He just made the pass for 13th there on Dustin Hayes.
Number 33, Kyle Beaton, through the rollers in the lead. Right behind him is Mayer, 28, and 42, Jimmy Nelson. A little tight through that section, Brian.
I tell you, it's great to see Beaton with the lead. Let's see what he can do with it. He's been the fastest rider on the track at a few events, but just had terrible luck. Look at that off the ski jump. Full speed ahead. This is great for Kyle Beaton and his sponsors if he can hold on to this lead.
The battle for sixth place, number 176, Andrew Blinn on the outside, and number 25, the original NorCal, right in his heels, Brian.
NorCal on the Suzuki ride for the Orson Transport team, getting stronger every weekend, but now Teddy Mayer challenging for the lead. And both these riders just slamming it into that rut, taking a tremendous amount of G-forces on this racetrack. A battle for 20th. Parker Allison and Adam Nutt out here just hanging it out. Love to see those guys lay it on the line.
Great battles all over the track, but back to our lead, Brian. You were right, number 33, Kyle Beaton, is getting his hands wet with a little bit of lead action right now. They are into lappers.
He is under pressure. Well, it's harder to lead than to follow. I tell you, I'd rather be Mayer right now than Beaton. Beaton's got to be cognizant of where the challenge is coming from and kind of ride defensively, but yet keep his eye on the prize, and there it is. Just lost the lead there, probably let his mind get the better of him, and here we are. Yeah, this is that sweeper that's not really a sweeper this year with all those ruts, and Nelson just relegates Beaton back to third. And oh man, all kinds of neat stuff going on this racetrack.
What do you say, brain fart, or is he getting tired? It's pretty early to be getting tired on this track. Whoa, and NorCal goes inside on Blinn.
I think it's just so easy to step out of one of these ruts if you're not really relaxed and flowing. And as soon as you start thinking about another rider on the track, that's it, game over. Here's the battle for 9th place. raging right now. And with all these ruts, the passes are happening more frequently. There's all kinds of stuff going on the track right now.
That's Hoyer and Johnson. Brian, that sweeper looks a lot slower than it has in the past. Oh my goodness, as we get back to the lead, Nelson is right on the heels, not looking for alternate lines, O'Brien. He's brake training right now.
Jimmy, you see how hard he had to get on the front brake there? He was gonna tag Mayer right in the rear end. And sometimes the best line is the line. Oh, big fishtail for Blinn. But you don't want to follow, but sometimes when the best line is way the best, you got to follow. Great pass for NorCal.
What a war.
I tell you, he is so slick on the racetrack. Blinn got him. Boom, got him right back. And you'll see that from NorCal time in, time out.
Again, we're talking about experience. How about that experience for Andrew Blinn and Brock Hoyer? Those guys are battling up the top 10 with factory riders, and they're riding out of their pickup trucks, their privateers. Again for the lead, Nelson on the inside, Mayer on the outside of that sweeper. Brian, there are 6 or 7 lines through there. Pick one and go for it.
I kind of like the outside one the best. It's the smoothest anyway, but the long way around. 3 abreast in midair. Lapper up the middle. Now, Michael Sleater here just past Blinn for 7th. Sleater coming back from a bad start, Travis.
Out of the valley through the Euro Bowl, Brian. This is the battle for the lead, and we have been waiting for this all season long. Again, we've been talking about the speed that Mayer has, yet Nelson's been winning the battles.
That he has. Now, Eric Nye, 514 on that KTM. The orange machine up on Beaton. This is the battle for 3rd. Beaton a little loose out there. His riding, I think he's tightening up in the forearms, you know, thinking too much. When this kid follows, he's a champ. But when he's got pressure, he's got to work on that part of his game just a little bit.
Coming into the season, we thought that number 33, Kyle Beaton, was going to press for the lead, Brian. Today is the first time we've actually seen him in the lead. I think he's got to regroup this season. Look at Eric Nye coming around the Blair Morgan corners, doing anything he can to stay on the motorcycle.
Beaton at the front end off the ground. Beaton, one of the most thrilling riders to watch. Like Dusty Klatt, all over the track, using every bump. And one thing is for certain, he keeps that throttle pinned.
Looks like number 28, Teddy Mayer, is pulled away from Jimmy Nelson for a while, but that battle for 3rd place, Brian, it is hopping, Beaton on the outside. Oh, I love that line for Nye as he slips clean close to the tires, through the rhythm section, into the mechanics area.
Nye trying everything. Now, to make a pass here, you expend a lot of energy also because you're looking all over for a way around.
There it is.
Sometimes it doesn't work and you have to regroup. In this case, it's working for now, but it ain't over yet. Look at Beats just taking the punishment through those small rockers there. Nye has it for now, but it ain't over here. Oh, Beaton's still hungry.
He has got to be furious, though, Brian. He had the lead, then he was in 3rd place, a podium spot, and then he lost it. He opened the door and let Nye in. I'm not happy with that. As we get back to our leader, number 28, Teddy Mayer, who's going to get his first win this season, Brian, in the MX2 West class, checking back to see where Nelson is.
Nelson backed off a bit there, settled for 2nd to the leaderboard. Eric Nye takes care of Beaton. Gray Davenport, a quiet ride for 5th. Northrop, Johnson, Sleater, Blinn, and Hoyer had a good moto.
Yeah, I know Jimmy was saying on the computer that I was out of shape and stuff because I was fading, but you know, I just had bike problems and stuff. And I proved that moto that I'm not out of shape, and you know, I'm gonna go in the next moto strong, get a good start, and try to do the same thing.
I felt all right. I blew the start. I wanted to hit the whole shot, and I got a bad start. I'm thinking like 9th or 10th, and I tried to make some passes, but it's so one-lined out there. There's like nowhere to pass. It took me forever to get by people, and I finally got into 4th, and I saw Beaton up there, and I was just trying to, you know, slowly catch him. And then I saw the 2-lap board, and we were both like giving it everything we had, and then I made the pass on the last lap, and you know, that's about all I can do.
If you like that moto, stick around. The track is drying up, and the big boys are lining up.
You've got a shot at catching Darcy and getting on the podium like at the end of the season. I mean, it's realistic.
Yeah, that is my season goal too, is to be 3rd in the series. You know, JSR and Dusty are pretty far ahead now, so just gotta catch Darcy in 3rd, and that would be sweet. Make Blackfoot 1, 2, 3 for the season would be awesome.
Hey Fabs, the premier class is on the line. This first MX1 moto will be brought to you by No Fear Apparel. I love this shot up on top of the box. You get to see that right side of the line, which is probably the best side to pick if you're gonna go for your gate pick.
Most of the top guys are on the right half. Holman's right against the box. Dubé always gets good starts. They're fishtailing, and this is a dirt start. The riders love it, and very high speed. Dusty Klatt. Oh, and look at KTM. That's Michael Willard slides in for the hole shot, and that is the Royal Distributing hole shot. He's our MX2 East unopposed champion from last year, Travs, making it work in the big boy class.
Tough left-hander through the Cowie corners. The boys funnel through. Brian, look at this. Willard has the lead right now. Platt in second place. Hot as he is. Oh, mistake for Willard. Platt is now in the lead. And look at that. Number 2, Gavin Graysick, finally gets a good start. He's in second.
Wow, Graysick just went from 4th to 2nd with a real heads-up move on that Ocean Transport Suzuki. And you can see the front end lofting up on these bikes as they gain maximum speed with that lock-off cam. What a spectacular shot here in Canadian motocross. One of my favorites.
Number 330, Darcy Lange, didn't get a great start, but look at now battling up into 4th place. Brian, look at him on the outside, had a bit of a bobble coming up into that sweeper section.
And this is that really technical first gear off camber. Just a treacherous part of this track. I personally love it. The riders hate it, but lots goes on there. Through the Blair Morgan corner, and who is that, Trav?
Number 1, John Sebastian Waugh, going wide though, Brian Leggery's looking for traction on the outside. Number 2, Gavin Graysick in second, and Waugh hot in his heels.
Well, remember last year, Graysick was the only guy that could battle with Waugh. Actually won some motos. He won both motos at Waugh.
Brian!
That is Dusty Klatt, our leader, down. He's just lost 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 positions, 13, 14, look at this. He gets the bike going, loses 14 positions. He slid out there, lost the front end just off camera, and took a soil sample. Unfortunately, stalled that motorcycle.
Looked very patient though, Brian. That's one thing I'll say about that. He didn't look like he was in a hurry. He's got a long motor to go. Back to our leaders now. Number 2, Gavin Graysick in the lead. John Sebastian Waugh, the number 1 Honda, right behind him.
Isn't this fantastic for Suzuki and Graysick? Coming off that shoulder injury, had the ankle injury before that. Now he's back, he's missed some rounds, missed Calgary, his favorite track. Here he is leading a national.
We expected to see Gavin Graysick battling with Waugh and Platt all season long, and it just hasn't happened. Early in the season, he was fast, then he had that ankle injury in round number 1. But look at Dusty Klatt. The guy is on the gas, Brian, making moves all over the place. He can't let those other guys check out.
The airtime he gets, he just seems to float that much lower and that much further than everyone. He's a master of the Bubba Scrub, no question, but things are getting intense. Graysick trying everything. Oh, and both riders have a moment, paddling along, but JSR has the better drive on the outside. Just illustrating how hard these guys try. And you know what? They push this hard right to the checkered flag.
Colton Fasciati with a problem coming up into the Blair Morgan corner. He's got dirt all over him, Brian. Here comes that Paskin out of the Eurobowl. Detail it for us.
Well, this is a reverse angle. You can see the back end of Graysick's bike skip out. And now John has a big moment where he hooks. Both of them having all kinds of trouble fighting for traction. Waugh just gets one less bounce than Graysick, and that's all it takes. That one split second makes the pass. Great execution by JSR, not following.
Waugh getting faster on that 450 every round. It seems to have taken him a lot of time, though, Brian. I'm surprised watching him on that bike. He looks hesitant in places. As we get back to number 24, Marco Dubé moving up on number 15, Michael Willard. Those guys are teammates, and it's a little bit of an old school, new school tradition right there.
That's good for Dubé to make that pass. Chuck Mesley fast all weekend, finds himself in the tires and stalled. Let's hope he can get that thing fired up and get some of those lost positions back.
Marco Dubé in 4th, getting by a down rider. That was a Kawasaki, Brian. Not sure who that was. That puts Willard in 5th.
That's Darcy Lange.
It is Darcy Lange. Yeah. You're right, number 330, down in the sweeper section. Marco Dubé now in 3rd. Oh no, Dusty Klatt is on the pipe. The juggernaut is happening right now.
Takes care of Willard, that's 4th, and look how hard Klatt can hit those jumps and scrub down around the outside here. He waits to the very last second before he puts his foot down, and look at him, just wheelie, BMX style, all the way through those rockers. I tell you what, he is a man possessed right now. I don't think there's any stopping Dusty Klatt. He is on the way to the championship.
Think about it right now, this is the first time we've seen him battle through the pack at any time this season. He's either been in 2nd place or 1st place.
Excellent.
For crying out loud. Oh my, through the ski jump, does he have Dubé? Oh, he just threw a Dubé on Dubé. That was a Dubé move.
That was sweet, Travis. And you know, that's a great point you made. This is showing us all what he is made out of, because he came back from about 15th. Now, John Sebastian Waugh in familiar territory for him in the lead. That is up until the 06 season, mind you, because Klatt has had his number all year.
The battle now is for 2nd place. Klatt has made it all up on number 2, Gavin Graysick, into that sweeper section. Brian, you can kind of see a couple of the options going in. A little tentative here. We've seen better speed in past years. Oh, Klatt on the inside. Graysick tentative. Does he have, another bobble through it, and Klatt takes 2nd place.
You could see Graysick just grab a handful. He knew Dusty was there. He did not want to let him pass. Oh, that was a sweet whip. But he got caught up in some more of those clumpy ruts there. And I tell you, when a rider gets squirrely in there, the rut kind of ends, so it just becomes chaotic in there. The ruts kind of don't lead anywhere. So you're just hopping and skipping all over. And I tell you, Darcy crashed there.
He sure did. Mesley and Cerny for 21st battling back. Now it looks like they've got number 831, Drew Clegg, another BC privateer. Oh, yes, through that section, Brian, there are options. And look at these guys banging bars for 20th spots.
Clegg and Cerny come together right there. I tell you what, they're both big guys. Mesley right there just taking it all in. He takes care of Clegg. I tell you what, battles everywhere. These young Canadian kids, they are strong.
Number 9, Dusty Klatt, looks like he's closing the gap on number 1, Jean-Sébastien Watt. Again, look how rough it is there, Brian. Paddling through with the augers out.
His feet are getting tore right off the pegs there in those clumps. They got the foot out like an outrigger to kind of aid in balance. Waiting that outside peg is very critical. Here's the battle for 8th right now. We got Ryan Lockhart on our screen. Just gets passed by Darcy Lange. He sure did. I thought maybe Lockhart had the outside advantage there, but Darcy holds him back.
This has been Lockhart's positioning all season long. 8, 9, 7, 11, just right in that package. He needs to get a little bit more mustard going to get into that top 5. Look at this. It's down to a second, Brian. This is the battle for the lead.
There's still a few laps left. Dusty Klatt, the fastest man on the racetrack, obviously he's caught right up to his teammate, number 1, Jean-Sébastien Watt. Now we've got number 7, Blair Morgan has caught all the way up to 5th man Willard right now. And look now, the battle, the fire is in the eyes of Dusty Klatt. He's looking all over, he's showing a wheel to the champ. The champ coming back from injuries, slightly off Dusty's pace.
Getting into lap traffic too, Brian. Again, Klatt was willing to go outside, carrying speed through those sections. Right now, let's just see if Dusty's gonna follow and just push John a little bit, just push him as they come through this mechanics triple section. I love this part of the track.
See, Dusty stays lower there. He's playing the crisscross game.
He's playing the crisscross
right up the inside. Watt hits a clump. See that? Just that one little thousandth of a second where Klatt hit, Watt hit that clump, and look at Klatt just hooking it all. Forget about it.
Forget about it. It's right. Watt had a great lead here, Brian. I would say upwards of 15 seconds, and in 2 or 3 laps, Klatt has caught him and passed him.
How demoralizing for our 5-time Canadian champ, Jean-Sébastien Watt. But he is a warrior. He's experienced. He is not going to let this bring him down. That's what I love about Watt. Now here it is, the crisscross effect from the inside. Now watch how much lower Klatt stays there, just soaks up that face. And I love the crisscross game. I can't get enough of it.
We've been seeing that from Klatt all season long, though. The trajectory change, instant trajectory change on the track.
That's his game. He makes the rider in front think he's going to the outside, and then he'll cut in, or vice versa. It is a cat and mouse game of chess out here to make a pass happen. Right now, our king is Dusty Klatt.
Darcy Lange, number 330, just slips by Keith Johnson, and that is for 8th place, Brian. Back to the battle for 4th. Number 24, Marco Dubé on that road distributing KTM. He's got Willard, the young man, all over him, going inside again. Oh, Dubé loves that outside line, Brian. Can he carry speed? You said the outside is the better line here.
Well, it's the smoother line, that's for sure, but Dubé got pushed wider than he wanted to there in those nasty clumps of ruts, and Willard makes the pass right here on the older teammate, Marco Dubé.
That's just got to make Dubé furious getting passed by Willard. Holy smokes. As we see number 2, Gavin Grayson getting his last lap flag. Number 9, Dusty Klatt on his final approach has opened up the gap on Jean-Sébastien Watt. Very comfortable now in about 30 seconds, coming up to take the checkered flag and the first win here today in Regina. Guy's got to be feeling pretty good about his day.
Welcome back, race fans, to Regina's Moto Valley Raceway. What a great first couple motos we had. To the leaderboard, Dusty Klatt, our winner. Grayson Willard, Blair Morgan with a severe bout of food poisoning manages to hold on to 6th.
I fell over in the corner right after the finish line there and stalled my bike, so I had to fire it up, and I don't know, I was probably about 8th or so, and just got up and charged hard, and I was hoping just get into 2nd, but to come out with a win was even better. I don't know, I think something might have happened with JSR or maybe his bike, but I'm still pumped to come out with a win, and kind of Peter keeping my Blackwood Honda right on top, so thanks.
Let's talk about your season so far. You've had some real highs, but then some real lows. And I know it's been difficult. You missed last weekend with that shoulder injury. What's it like coming back? Do you have some renewed vigor? At least we had that break, and maybe that was good for your insides.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, anytime you get a break with an injury, you know, it definitely helps and help recovery. And you know, just been doing what I've been doing. You know, I was real strong coming into the season. Had some mishaps and you know, played with some injuries. And but hey, you know, it's part of the sport. You just got to get through it, and that's what makes you better down the road. And you know, I couldn't do it without the whole team. My mechanic Nick's been behind me the whole way, and it's kind of hard. You know, I haven't given them guys the recognition they deserve. But we're up on the box this time, and it's just something to build off of.
To the freestyle minute. This is the band Daylight for Dead Eyes, and this is Benoit Milo, courtesy of his film Invasion.
I don't want to answer that.
Keep going. And when it's good, oh so good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, no. Let's keep going. Keep going, knowing life's a fight. Keep going, I'll just lay down and die. Keep going. Keep going, knowing life's a fight. Keep going, I'll just lay down and die. Keep going every day and night. Oh, keep going. When it's good, oh so good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it now. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Number 514, Eric Nye, with a tough weekend last weekend in Calgary, a DNF in that first moto. That one had to sting, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting that. You know, going into Calgary, I was hoping to make up some points on Jimmy Nelson, and that's not what happened. DNF first moto with some bike problems, but nothing I can do about it, and came back in the second moto and got third on the podium, so it's about all I can do.
Stick around, you're going to see that rider, Eric Nye, do battle right after this commercial break.
Welcome back to Moto Valley Raceway in Regina. Hey, there's the General, Jake Lee, with his hand up in the air. Don't you go anywhere. This second MX2 Moto will be brought to you by Don Joy Knee Bracing. Brian, the final MX2 Moto for the day, coming to the end of round 3 of a 4-race series.
That's right, Travis. Usually we crown our champion here. A restructuring of the schedule makes this round 3 of the Western swing of the MX2 division. The board goes to 5, and like we said earlier, the dirt start a little more fair, I think, than one of the concrete starts.
Getting off the gate nicely, the lineup coming to that first corner. A pile of boys. How about 411 Cale Barr? Look at number 181, Michael Sleater, with that Royal Distributing hole.
Oh, and did he ever pull it out in style up here from California, riding for KTM Factory here in Canada, and you know in the U.S. he's a test rider for Trans World Motocross Magazine, which is way cool.
Number 25, the original, in second place. 42, Jimmy Nelson in third. Andrew Boleyn with a great start, and I saw Nicky Dunn up in the mix.
Dunn riding for Greg's KTM. He is contesting the Manitoba Provincial Championships. Great to see him back on the circuit after injuries.
Our leaders through the sweeper into the Scott MX lockoff cam as the boys funnel through. Lots of options here, Brian, on the ski jump, heading down into the valley.
There sure is. You can see them through the end. Look at them off the second launcher there. There's 4 or 5 in the air at the same time. Very thrilling here in the early stages. But look at Northrup.
Oh.
Northrup just makes the pass for the lead. Sleater just stuffed himself on the outside. Look at Jimmy Nelson paddling this way and that. It's very technical out there.
Sleater looked like he was going to carry more speed around that corner. Brian, you're right. He just lost traction, slipped out. NorCal on that tough line on the inside takes the lead.
Very sketchy with the dry conditions because the watering, so you get some dry patches, some wet patches. Here we go, a nice little package going on with Brock Hoyer, 145. He is on number 317, Jared Allison. These guys are just outside the top 10 right now.
The twin Allison brothers, 317 Jared and 521 Parker, contesting up here as privateers. I'd love to see that stuff. Number 28, Teddy Mayer with a horrible start, as well as number 514, Eric Nye.
I don't know what happened to Mayer there. He just stopped dead going up the hill. I don't think there was any contact at all unless he ground his brake pedal down. This is the battle for second place, and look at Nelson doing the crisscross just like his teammate in the big class, Dusty Klatt. Sleater hangs on for now, though. I like it, making Nelson work for it out there.
Great drive coming out of the bowl. That slingshot, he went high in that corner and carried it up the hill. I saw Kyle Beaton in 4th place.
Beaton thrilling, and you know, we've talked about Beaton. He leads a moto, he finishes 4th. He starts last, he finishes 4th. That's his lot in life this year, I'm telling you.
He's got to get better starts, Brian. He's got to maintain composure.
Oh,
Sleater
boy.
is down. Going into the FIVE.
Oh, no.
Now Nelson is down.
Holy, what a helmet tester for Sleater. Sleater keeps the bike running. Poor Jimmy. If he had just kept the gas on and blasted through that FFF banner, he might have been okay. Up and running, though, but look at the positions he lost and who's at his rival, Teddy Mayer. That's that's really gonna make him work for it.
Okay, Fabs, here comes the Sleater moment. Detail it for us.
Gets his weight just a little forward, getting ready to transition on the gas, gets a little ahead of himself and slides out. Able to keep the bike running, though. That is the biggest thing for Sleater. Jimmy Nelson, hard on the binders, got nowhere to go. Tries to clear that banner. If he blasted right through it, he'd been okay. But FMF, a huge sponsor of his, he doesn't want to go wrecking their banners. And he's good friends with Little D from FMF as well.
Boleyn up into the Blair Morgan corner, stalls the bike, and number 32, Kevin Johnson, gets by him, as well as number 42, Jimmy Nelson. There's Boleyn getting going, and Nicky Dunn is around him on the outside.
Boleyn just gave up 3-4 positions right there. Not good at all, but sometimes that makes a rider angry. And when you're angry, you ride hard. So that could be good for Boleyn's mindset right now. I think Dunn's gonna know where he is on the track.
You better believe it. This is our battle for the lead. Brian, number 25, Jeff Northrup in the lead. Kyle Beaton, like you said, one of the fastest guys in the track. In 2nd place, does he have him on the inside? This is where Beaton lost it before. NorCal carrying speed through the FMF corner. Look at Beaton wheelie through those rockers.
Yeah, he swings wide, puts him to the inside. What a great setup. Oh, a great pass, but there it is. That's NorCal, the slickster, in action. Gets past, what's he do? Passes right back. He's a master.
Goes inside, though, Brian. That's why I came out of that corner and slipped inside and moved back into the lead. Kyle Beaton looking good in 2nd.
This battle's not over, Travis. Beaton looks hungry. Now back to Teddy Mayer. He is way back. He got together with Sleater off camera. He's back in 18th position. Jimmy Nelson a gear high on Kevin Johnson. What a beautiful pass on that Blackfoot Honda. Johnson on that Toyota Yamaha back to 4th place.
This is the battle for the lead. Look at Beaton on the inside. This is that little double section off at the start straight. Does Beaton have the inside line? Yes, he does. Through the Cowie corner, Brian. Kyle Beaton is now in the lead for the 2nd time today.
But can he make it stick? He does for now. NorCal takes a peek, but he's gonna have to save it for another corner. Beaton on that beautiful Clearbrook Yamaha. And you know, Yamaha needs a win. They've been struggling this year with some of their talent. Simon Homan's their main man at MX1. But did you just see Johnson ricochet that corner?
Oh, no! Yeah, Brian, you're talking about him winning a moto and a little bit of a brain fart. He's down. There goes Davenport. Nelson's by him. Come on, Kyle, get that bike going for crying out loud. There goes Johnson. Now Nye's going to get by him with a big brake check.
Nye almost tagged him right in the back end. He lost, what did he lose? 8-10 positions. Now the battle for 2nd place rages hard through the GP bowl. Nelson on the outside. Look at him just skip and turn in midair. Poetry in motion right now. Passes Gray Davenport. That's Mayer's teammate. Now he's holding up the Cowie honor right now with Mayer back.
Coming out of the Euro Bowl, number 514, Eric Nye now slips into 4th place. Does he have Johnson? Yes, he does. Brian, you talked about the guy who has the cool yangs. Will be able to make the pass coming out of that section.
And that is Eric Nye right there. Sets up Johnson beautifully. I don't know if Johnson's getting tired. He's in pretty decent shape. But it's hot out today, so that could be a factor here as we close in.
NorCal checks off on Nelson. This is for the lead, Brian. Through the valley section on that big lifter coming into the Euro Bowl. Look at the lines out there, Brian. Rough as can be. Nelson on the inside. Does he have NorCal?
Not quite yet. Those lines are baking in hard now. You can really see the motorcycles work coming into these corners under braking. The suspensions soaking it up, and the riders using all of their might to keep these bikes straight and keep the momentum tracking forward.
Number 42, Jimmy Nelson, the aggressor on the inside, Brian. It becomes the outside down into the bowl, but more drive coming out, and he takes the lead.
He jumped a lot further than NorCal there. I think NorCal realizing that Nelson's the fastest guy out there. He's coming off injuries. Let Jimmy go and try and secure 2nd for your team.
Number 33, Kyle Beaton, working up on number 290, Benjamin Israel, one of the 3 hot chili brothers up here. And it looks like Beaton has the position on the inside.
He does, and that is 11th place that Beaton's worked back to. We'll see if he can pick up some more spots. Now, Sleater all over Boleyn coming off of his 2 crashes out there and up to 6th. great ride for Sleater right now, but you know, Boleyn, an awesome ride as well for that young 19-year-old.
Here's the comeback kid, number 514, Eric Nye, who always seems to make passes at the end of the moto, working up on number 916. That's great Davenport. Brian, that is for third place. Where the heck is Davenport? He's quiet today.
Nye has really put on a charge, and like you say, he just picks guys off all throughout the race. And as a team manager, that's what you want to look for in a rider. He can come back. You can only imagine what Nye could do with a whole shot.
Oh, going up high through that Euro. Number 25, NorCal, but look at this, 514. Nye is right on his back.
Teddy Mayer takes the last lap. Flag right now in 9th place. NorCal looks over on Nye, not a good sign off the ski jump. Wow, and did you see Nye's body position right low? Looks like he has the pass. There's a lapper in the middle, just enough to get in NorCal's way. It's not done yet through the Euro GP Bowl. Nye has the position right now. Trav's half a lap to go.
Brian, that pass was for seconds. We see number 42, Jimmy Nelson, on his final approach with a sweet win here to take the overall in the MX2 class.
Great job for Jimmy Nelson to the leaderboard. Eric Nye manages to get the better of Northrup. Davenport, a quiet moto in 5th. Johnson, Sleater, Nicky Dunn, Andrew Boleyn, and how about Brock Hoyer in 10th?
Taking the overall in the MX2 class today with a big win in that second moto. Number 42, Jimmy Nelson, came back with a purpose there, didn't you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I had an all right start. I think I was second or third, and ended up going down. Michael Sleater fell right in front of me, and I went over the berm and got tangled up in a bunch of banners and stuff. I don't even know how far back it was by the time I got back up, but put my head down. Teddy was right in front of me, so I knew for the championship I was still all right, and I got by him pretty fast, and Sleater tried to take me out, and him and Mayer actually ended up hitting each other, and I think Mayer fell down, but you know, I gave it everything I had, and towards the end there, I just tried to keep it on cruise control and bring it home.
Thinking about coming into the season with an injury or recovering from an injury, what you want to do is stay in the hunt and then finish strong. Right now, the last 3 motos I've seen you, you've really been riding well, especially that one. You held that lead strong. I like that.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I'm almost there. You know, I can't really get in shape in 3 weeks, but I'm pushing real hard, and you know, I always want to go a little bit longer, and I think if I could have, you know, I definitely would have on top of the box. So definitely look for me next weekend.
NorCal, a great ride. The big boys line it up. Simon Holman's number 6 is going to get 30 for you.
Let's say you're out on the track and you're coming up on a guy and you want to make a pass on him. Do you ever look at who it is and go, holy cripes, I got to get around this guy? Who would that be?
Maybe Marco. Marco's a hard guy to pass. He's a big guy, and he holds his line pretty good. Yeah, he gets aggressive out there. He's not scared to give it a little bit of extra gas going to the corner and give you a little scrape, but it's definitely part of it. It's fun.
The final moto of the day here, Brian, from Moto Valley Raceway. This is the MX1 class, and this moto will be brought to you by MX Performance Magazine. Great shot of the boys on the line, and rockin' Randy Hall with that Frankenstein 30. That board snapped in half in Gopher Dunes. We put it together with some tie straps, and now we're to 5.
There was a tornado there. Dubé against the box. Mesley and Holman's right there. Dubé known for his great hole shots. Let's see what happens here as they round the corner. Wow, look at those pair of Hondas. Oh, and it's Dusty Klatt with the hole shot. Willard Waugh right there.
Fasciati with an interesting line on the inside. I think I saw number 62, Ian Hayden, looking good up here, Brian.
Hayden always gets great starts on that KTM in 4th place right now. Darcy Lange. No, that's Fasciati right there. I don't see Lange at all, Travers, and we saw Albuquerque Keith Johnson probably just outside the top 10 there, 111 on the Toyota Yamaha.
Number 6, Simon Holmes, also with a great start, but how about Michael Willard really starting to show his stuff in the MX1 class? He's supposed to be an MX2 specialist, but Colton Fasciati has been all about it. Look at that line, Brian, on the inside as they go through the Scott MX lock-off cam.
Luck of the draw through there. If you can find the faster line, Fasciati up to 3rd place now, taking a peek on Waugh. Looks like he had the better rut there. Waugh opting for that flat outside line. Now a replay of the start, and definite carnage there. See bikes upside down, bodies flying everywhere. We got some big key players there. Number 4 and Darcy Lange holding his hand on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Not a good sign at all, and a terrible way for number 4, KJ Keith Johnson, to start this second moto.
Lange looks very tentative picking up his bike there, Brian. You're right, holding his wrist or his hand did not look good. Let's get back to the action, Brian. Up into the Blair Morgan corner. Looks like, that's right, Fasciati with a high line, and it looks like Simon Holman's coming inside on number 15, Michael Willard. Yes, he has made the pass, moving up into 4th.
Good job for Holman's. That outside line there, Fasciati had, looks like it's getting a better drive there because of the rich soil on the outside. So I think this year the outside's the fast way around.
Number 9, Dusty Clyde in the lead. There's number 1, John Sebastian Waugh close behind him. Faccioti in third, and Simon Holman's in fourth with a great start as they funnel through that triple section, Brian, into the mechanics area. Hayden and Dubé also in tow.
KTM's got 3 bikes in the top 10 right now. Fasciotti third all along, starting to spread out a bit in the little single file here. This is one of the 2 whoop sections on the top kind of flat part of the racetrack.
KTM Canada has to be very happy with the way that Willard is riding as we get back to our leader down in the bowl section. Oh my, Brian, taking care of a little scrubberoo through the valley there.
Obviously comfortable out front. Keith Johnson, number 4, coming back from that dead last start. He is yet to catch up to anybody, all alone way at the back.
John Sebastian Waugh going through that Euro section, Brian, trying to keep pace with the leader right now, but I think that shoulder still bothering him here at Regina.
Platt starting to pull out a few seconds a lap right now. Waugh, though, starting to gap on third. Battle right now in front of us. Number 45, Chuck Mesley, taking care of Ian Hayden, and that's 8th place. Couple other boys right here. That is 111. That's the other Keith Johnson. That's Albuquerque Keith.
The battle for fourth, Brian, is raging through that Euro Bowl. Number 6, Simon Holman's carrying a lot of speed, but I like number 15, Michael Willard, is starting to get really good starts in that bike. Oh, no. Holman's with a bobble in the big rut.
Now, Holman's gear shifter got jammed there. He didn't even stall the motorcycle. Looked like he stalled it, but he got clicked into false neutral there. A gift for Willard, because Holman's passed Willard earlier, so it would have been really interesting.
Lockhart with a bad start gets by Burke for 14th. Those guys are working up. Oh, the cousin Milos goes down. He's in 19th, Brian. Picking up the bike. Oh, my. Platt scrubs his way through into the Euro section, Brian, in first place. Wow.
Platt's whip's getting sicker and sicker as this moto winds on, giving the crowd all they paid for and more on this Regina racetrack. And look at him work the motorcycle on this rutted out track.
Brian, you know Platt's having fun out here, but he's scrubbing speed. He's keeping the bike low, although this one might have been just for the fans.
That's inverted.
Get out of here.
He is the new chairman of the Style Council, as far as I'm concerned.
Bringing back the retro moves from the 80s as we see number 62, Ian Hayden, taking care of number 111, Keith Johnson. You know what? Albuquerque Keith is struggling up here, Brian. We haven't seen any speed from him so far.
I think definitely not what Yamaha was hoping for as far as results go. And hats off, though, to Ian Hayden, who's really riding well, having one of the best nationals in the MX1 class he's had to date.
You saw the gap between Waugh and Fasciotti, not too large, maybe second and a half. But how about Marco Dubé moving up on his French counterpart, number 6, Simon Holman's. Holman's riding large in 5th place. Dubé's got that inside line through the rollers, Brian. Dubé's healthy, he's in great shape, and he's starting to love that bike. Great having him on the track.
And a very aggressive move right there. Holman's looked like he had him in check the way he was breaking into the corner. He looked totally in control. Now the battle for 9th, raging. Chuck Mesley holding on strong, and that's number 26. Yes, Matt Barnes. These two tangle every race. Barnes just seems to get him towards the ends of the motos. We know Mesley didn't start the year in the best of condition.
Very similar speeds from those two riders, Brian. One a privateer, the other one a factory rider. As we get back to our battle for second place, about a second and a half there.
Very impressed with the way Fasciotti's keeping pace with the champ right now. Ryan Lockhart gets by Albuquerque. Keith Johnson puts him into top 10, and that's prestigious for points. That's where Lockhart's got to be.
Did you see the way that Johnson jumped out of that rut, though, you were talking about? That's the first gear off camber, a tough part of the track. Lockhart looking good in 10th, Mesley on the outside of Barnes. Barnes looks like he might have a problem, Brian, as they get into the camelback section.
Bike definitely slowing. It sounds a little off. Terrible luck for a rider who's just pushed hard for 30 minutes in this heat. Now, wow, he's just gonna have to settle for like no points.
Number 1, John Sebastian Waugh in second place, getting ready to take his last lap flag, Brian. The gap from first to second, about 26 seconds.
Platt definitely checked out, but the race is not over right now, especially for number 209, Jeremy Israel. He has got the measure of Mesley. Outside becomes the inside. Chucky has to wick it up. Oh, the Israeli forces him wide. Chuck Mesley, that hurts to lose a position on the last lap.
Number 209, Jeremy Israel, starting to find his groove here in the third round that we've seen him. Number 15, Michael Willard, a smart 4th right now, Brian. He's looking good for the podium on the overall. As we get back to our leader, number 9, Dusty Clyde, who is all about it on his final approach. Coming up the hill, let's see the move. Simple arms up in the air, Brian, as he takes the clean sweep here in Regina.
Hey, race fans, thanks for joining us here today in Regina. What a great day of racing it's been. To the leaderboard, second MX1. We know Klatt won at Wahang Tough. Like Fasciati, their winner gets third overall. Dubé and Homans have a great day, as does Gracek, Israel, and Chuck Mesley.
Going 2-2 today in MX1 is number 1, John Sebastian Waugh. John, and actually a very interesting moto, just missed the whole shot, and then rode a smart race all the way through. A little bit of pressure from Colt, but then you just pulled away from him as soon as you felt that pressure.
Yeah, I just gotta go 4 to 5 second lead so I don't hear his bikes. I can focus on the track. That track was really rutted, a lot of deep ruts and quite a few rocks here and there, so you had to be really focused on that track. So it was all right. It was a smooth race. It was pretty, simple second place.
I noticed early in the race it looked like you were pressuring JSR, then the gap opened up, then it closed up a little bit. Were you trying different options when you came up on him and he was in second?
I think it was just maybe I'd make a mistake and then he would make a mistake. We just kind of going a little bit back and forth, but we both rode pretty good, pretty consistent, and at the end there I just kind of let off a little bit. I knew I had third place, so it was good, it was fun.
To the MX2 leaderboard after 3 of 4 rounds, Jimmy Nelson a huge lead. But how about the little logjam with Davenport, Mayer, Nye, and Northrup? It's anyone's game.
To MX1 after 5 of 9 rounds, your leader is Dusty Klatt. Tough news for the Cowie camp. There's a possible break there for Darcy Langin, the thumb. Blair Morgan missing the second moto with the food poisoning.
What a great day of racing it's been here in Regina. Thanks for joining us. And if you want more of what you saw today, join Travs and I at mxpmag.com and click on Canadian Motocross Radio.
You have been watching the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championships. Brought to you by Motovan.com, your source for power sports parts and accessories. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. And KodiakBoots.com. Special thanks to the Regina Motocross Club for a great day of racing. Travers and Coster are out!